What if I told you that the man who proved the universe is expanding once spent his college years running fast breaks, boxing out defenders, and dropping buckets? This isn't science fiction. This is the story of Edwin Hubble, one of the greatest astronomers who ever lived, and also a full-blown baller. From dominating the court to blowing our minds with the scale of the cosmos, Edwin Hubble's journey is one of the most surprising, underrated, and inspiring transformations in science and sports. So grab your telescopes and your Jordans, because today we're talking about how a basketball player changed the way we see the entire universe. Let's start on the hardwood. Before Edwin Hubble looked up at the stars, he was lighting it up on the basketball court. Born in 1889 in Marshfield, Missouri, Hubble was a gifted athlete from the beginning. He was tall, around 6'2", which was very tall for that time, and that frame gave him a serious edge in sports. In high school, Hubble was basically a one-man athletic department. He competed in track and field, dominating the high jump, shot put, and pole vault. But the real action came when he enrolled at the University of Chicago in 1907. There, he joined one of the top basketball programs in the nation, the Chicago Maroons, coached by the legendary Amos Alonzo Stagg, who was basically the Nick Saban of his time. Back then, college basketball wasn't the flashy, fast-paced game we see today. It was gritty, low scoring, no dunks, no three-point line, and barely any backboard. But Hubble thrived in it. He played as a forward and was known for his strength, coordination, and defensive hustle. One game in particular would become historic. In 1909, the University of Chicago faced off against Indiana in a tight match. Chicago won 18-12. And while the score sounds more like a soccer game today, back then, this was an intense contest. The actual basketball used in that game, it's still around, and we'll get to that in a second. Basketball wasn't just a hobby for Hubble. It was part of his identity. He trained hard. He was respected by teammates. Some even say he had pro potential. And if that wasn't enough, he also competed in boxing and track at the university level. Basically, he was a walking NCAA highlight reel before the NCAA even existed. But even while he was making noise in the gym, Hubble was quietly nurturing something else, a deep curiosity about the cosmos. While most of his peers saw Hubble as just a jock, he was anything but. He earned a degree in mathematics and astronomy at the University of Chicago, all while balancing intense athletics. That combo of brains and brawn was rare then, and still rare now. After college, in a surprising twist, Hubble won a Rhodes Scholarship and went to Oxford University. There, instead of pursuing astronomy, he studied law, because his father wanted him to have a respectable career. Hubble, being the obedient son, played along for a while. After returning to the U.S., he worked as a high school teacher and, no surprise, a basketball coach in New Albany, Indiana. But something didn't sit right. His eyes kept drifting upward. The stars were calling. After his father passed away, Hubble made a bold decision. He dropped the law, left the coaching job, and returned to his first love, science. He re-enrolled at the University of Chicago and earned his PhD in astronomy in 1917. But just as he was about to begin working at Mount Wilson Observatory, World War I broke out. Hubble joined the U.S. Army, served in France, and came back a decorated major. Only then, in 1919, did he finally begin the work that would make him a legend. At Mount Wilson Observatory in California, Hubble worked with the 100-inch Hooker telescope, the most powerful telescope of its time. With it, he began to study deep space, especially objects known as nebulae. Back then, scientists believed everything in the universe was contained in the Milky Way galaxy. But Hubble questioned that. He focused on the Andromeda Nebula, carefully observing the stars within it. What he discovered would shatter our entire understanding of the cosmos. By measuring the brightness of special stars known as Cepheid variables, he realized Andromeda wasn't inside our galaxy. It was an entirely separate galaxy, millions of light years away. This was the astronomical equivalent of finding out Earth isn't the center of the universe. Again, suddenly, the known universe went from one galaxy to billions. But Hubble wasn't done. In 1929, he published what would become Hubble's Law, the observation that galaxies are moving away from us, and that the farther away they are, the faster they're moving. This proved that the universe is expanding and laid the foundation for the Big Bang Theory. Let's just say it, this former basketball player redefined the universe. Now let's bring it full circle. Back to that 1909 basketball game. That ball, used when Edwin Hubble played for the University of Chicago against Indiana, was preserved by the university as a memento of Hubble's student life. Fast forward 100 years. In 2009, astronauts aboard the Space Shuttle Atlantis, STS-125, were preparing to service the Hubble Space Telescope for the final time. As a tribute to Edwin Hubble's legacy, NASA decided to send that very basketball into orbit. Yes, seriously. The same ball that Hubble passed, shot, and defended with in 1909 was launched into outer space to orbit the Earth alongside the telescope that bears his name. It's one of the most poetic, full-circle moments in scientific history. A ball used in one of his college games, which symbolized his youth, athleticism, and competitive spirit, traveled into the very domain he helped us understand, space. When the shuttle returned to Earth, the basketball was brought back and put on display at the University of Chicago. Now not just a sports relic, but a literal space artifact. Edwin Hubble's life is a powerful reminder of something we forget all too often. You don't have to be just one thing. He wasn't just a scientist. He wasn't just a baller. He was both. And each side of him fed the other. His years of playing sports gave him the discipline, focus, and resilience needed to handle the painstaking detail work of astronomy. And his love of learning took him far beyond what even he imagined was possible. Today, his name orbits Earth every 90 minutes. The Hubble Space Telescope has captured images that defined our era. Galaxy clusters, exploding stars, new worlds. Without Hubble, we might still think the Milky Way is all there is. But because one man followed his curiosity, after a full career in sports, law, teaching, and war, we now understand that we live in an expanding universe filled with billions of galaxies. So the next time someone tells you to stay in your lane, remember Edwin Hubble. He had no lane. He had a court, and then a telescope. He changed uniforms from a jersey, to a lab coat, to an army major, to a stargazer. He's proof that you don't have to choose between muscle and mind, between court and cosmos. Because sometimes, the guy scoring 10 points against Indiana ends up showing humanity just how vast the universe really is. If you loved this story, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell. Let's keep exploring the universe and the humans who helped us understand it.